All right, get ready, because today we're taking a deep dive into AI sound generation.
With NVIDIA's Fugatto.
Yeah, Fugatto. It's pretty wild.
Yeah.
We're talking AI that can create...
That'll blow your mind.
Totally. Imagine like a saxophone that can bark.
Or a cello shouting with anger.
I know, right? Or
A
even...
thunderstorm turning into bird song.
It's like
magic.
pure sonic magic. We've got a research paper straight from NVIDIA.
A blog post that's buzzing about this new tech.
And my own notes to keep us on track.
What's really fascinating is that Fugatto isn't just copying sounds from its training data.
It's going beyond that.
Right. It's creating totally new audio.
Wow.
Crafting textures and even musical pieces that we never thought possible with AI.
So our mission today is to...
Unravel the mysteries of Fugatto.
Exactly. Figure out how it works.
What it can do.
And what it means for the future of sound design and music.
The future of sound.
But let's start with the basics. What is Fugatto?
Fugatto, which stands for Foundational Generative Audio Transformer Opus 1, is essentially a powerful AI model trained on a massive amount of audio data.
So like a deep neural network that's learned the patterns of sound.
Exactly.
Okay. But we've seen AI compose music before. What makes Fugatto different?
Fugatto is the first foundational model for sound that has what researchers call emergent properties.
Emergent properties.
It means it can do things it wasn't specifically trained to do, like
Right.
generating completely new sounds, not just combinations of what it's heard before.
Whoa. That sounds almost like,
Consciousness.
yeah, like is it becoming self-aware?
Let's not jump ahead. Fugatto's emergence is more about the huge amount and variety of data it was trained on.
So it can make connections we didn't program in.
Exactly. Think of a chef who, after years of learning different cuisines, invents a brand new dish.
By instinctively combining flavors in a way no one has thought of.
That's a great analogy.
I'm starting to see how this could revolutionize sound creation.
It's a game changer.
Right, can you give me some concrete examples of these emergent properties in action?
We'll take singing voice synthesis, for example.
Okay.
Fugatto wasn't specifically trained for it,
Interesting.
but researchers found that by fine-tuning it with just a little bit of singing data,
Okay.
it could generate incredibly realistic singing voices.
So it's not just mimicking, it's learning how to learn sounds.
Exactly. It's understanding something fundamental about the nature of sound.
That's incredible. And what about this composable art technique everyone's talking about?
Composable art is another fascinating aspect.
Tell me more.
It lets Fugatto combine instructions that it only saw separately during training.
So
Imagine asking Fugatto to generate text spoken with a sad feeling and in a French accent.
even though it never encountered those instructions together during training.
Right.
That's wild.
Yeah.
So I could basically layer different attributes and effects
Right.
to create exactly the sound I want.
You got it. And you have even more control than that.
Really?
Fugatto also allows for interpolation.
Interpolation. What's that?
It means you can adjust the intensity of instructions.
Give me an example.
Like how heavy the French accent is or how much sadness you want in the voice.
There's like a slider for each attribute.
You got it. You can fine-tune it to get the perfect nuance.
This level of control is mind-blowing. Imagine a film composer using this
To create a score that adapts to the emotions on screen.
in real time.
Exactly.
Wow, it's incredible. And it doesn't stop there.
Nope. Fugatto also has temporal interpolation,
Temporal interpolation. Now, what's that?
which means it can create sounds that evolve over time.
Like,
Think of a rainstorm where the thunder gradually fades away.
oh, cool. How does that even work?
It uses something called sigmoid curves to adjust the weights of different audio events over time.
Ah, I see. So it's not just about generating sound.
It's about choreographing them through time.
This is starting to feel less like a tool and more like
A partner.
a creative partner. Yeah, but let's step back for a second.
Okay.
This is all very impressive. But how is Fugatto actually being used in the real world?
Well, Fugatto is still relatively new,
Sure.
but its potential applications are huge.
Like in
We can start with music production.
All right, let's talk music.
Mm.
Besides making every instrument bark, how would a music producer actually use Fugatto?
Imagine being able to quickly test out song ideas,
Trying different instruments, melody styles.
all in a matter of seconds.
That would be amazing.
Fugatto could help you explore new sonic territories,
And add unique effects to existing tracks.
or even generate completely new sounds.
So it's like having an AI assistant that helps you break free from creative ruts.
Exactly.
But would that diminish the role of the human musician?
I think it's more about augmenting human creativity.
Not replacing it.
Right? Fugatto becomes a tool, like a synthesizer or a sampler.
Okay.
The real magic still comes from the musician's vision.
So what about other industries? Where else is Fugatto making waves?
One area that's particularly exciting is advertising.
Advertising.
Imagine an ad agency using Fugatto to adapt their campaigns for different regions or audiences.
Okay.
They could easily change the accent or emotional tone of a voiceover.
So better connect with specific demographics. So instead of hiring different voice actors for each region, they could just use Fugatto to tweak the existing audio.
That's the idea.
That's incredibly efficient. But wouldn't that feel a bit artificial?
It definitely raises questions about authenticity and how people perceive these digitally manipulated voices.
True.
But it also opens up possibilities for personalized advertising.
Tailoring the audio experience to individual preferences.
Precisely. It's a double-edged sword.
Like many technological advancements.
Exactly.
Speaking of double-edged swords, what about the potential for Fugatto to be used for less noble purposes? Like creating deepfakes or spreading misinformation?
That's an important question.
It is.
Fugatto, like any powerful tool, can be misused.
Right.
The ability to create hyper-realistic audio does raise concerns about deception and manipulation.
Absolutely.
It underscores the importance of developing ethical guidelines.
As this technology advances.
Right.
So it's not just about what Fugatto can do.
It's about what we should do with it.
We need to be mindful of the potential consequences and ensure that this technology is used responsibly.
I agree. We'll delve deeper into those ethical considerations later.
Okay, sounds good. What else can Fugatto do? I'm all ears.
Let's explore that. One area where Fugatto really shines is language learning.
Language learning.
Imagine hearing new vocabulary in different voices and accents.
So it could make learning more engaging and effective.
Exactly.
Instead of just listening to a robotic voice repeating phrases.
You could have Fugatto create a personalized learning experience.
Maybe even using the voice of a favorite celebrity.
Or a character from a movie.
Yeah, that's cool. And it goes beyond just mimicking voices, right?
It does. Fugatto can actually adjust the emotional tone of the speech.
To help learners understand the nuances of a language.
Exactly.
That's fascinating. So it's not just about pronunciation and grammar.
It's about capturing the emotional context, too.
You mentioned earlier that Fugatto can actually understand and respond to human emotions.
That's right.
How does that work? I mean, I don't think it has feelings, right?
Yeah. Oh, of course not. But remember, Fugatto was trained on a massive data set.
Right.
That includes emotional cues in both speech and music.
Okay.
This allows it to analyze and interpret those cues
And
then use that information to generate sounds that evoke specific emotions.
so you could theoretically ask Fugatto to create a piece of music that makes you feel happy.
And it would actually understand what you mean.
Wow.
It could analyze existing music associated with happiness
And then
and then use that knowledge to create something new that fits those parameters.
that's incredible. It's almost like having an AI composer who can tap into your emotions and translate them into music.
It's a powerful concept.
What are some of the potential applications of this emotional understanding?
Think about music therapy.
Music therapy.
Using Fugatto to create calming soundscapes for people with anxiety or stress, or generating personalized music to help people with dementia reconnect with memories and emotions.
That's powerful. It could have a positive impact on people's lives.
It could.
But it also raises some interesting questions. If Fugatto can understand and respond to human emotions, does that mean it's becoming more human-like?
I wouldn't go that far. Fugatto is still a tool.
A sophisticated one, but still a tool.
Right. It's designed to serve human needs and desires.
Right.
Its ability to understand and respond to emotions is based on patterns in the data it was trained on.
Not on genuine sentience.
Exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Hmm.
But even if it's not truly sentient, it's still pretty mind-blowing to think about an AI that can understand and manipulate human emotions through sound.
It is. And as the technology continues to develop, we can expect even more groundbreaking applications.
I can't wait to see what the future holds. But let's shift gears a bit and talk about some of the more practical applications of Fugatto. We've already touched on music production, advertising, and language learning. What about other industries? How could Fugatto be used in fields like education, healthcare, or even entertainment?
The possibilities are endless, really. In education, for example, imagine using Fugatto to create immersive learning experiences.
Immersive learning experience.
Students could hear historical speeches in the voices of the actual speakers.
Or listen to scientific concepts explained in engaging ways.
Exactly.
That would be a far cry from the dry textbooks and monotonous lectures we grew up with.
It would. Learning could become a multisensory experience.
More engaging and memorable.
Right. And it's not just about the content. Fugatto could also be used to provide personalized feedback and guidance for students,
So they can learn at their own pace.
and in a way that suits their individual learning styles.
It's like having an AI tutor who's always available.
Exactly.
What about healthcare? How could Fugatto be used to improve patient care?
Fugatto could create therapeutic soundscapes for patients recovering from surgery or managing chronic pain.
Like calming music tailored to their individual needs.
Exactly.
That's a beautiful application. It shows how Fugatto could contribute to healing and well-being.
It could.
And it doesn't stop there, right?
It does. Think about entertainment. Fugatto could be used to create interactive sound installations, immersive VR experiences, or even personalized soundtracks for movies and TV shows.
It'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Like having a personal sound designer creating the perfect sonic backdrop.
It's not that far-fetched. As the technology evolves, the boundaries between reality and fantasy will blur.
And Fugatto will be at the forefront.
Leading the way.
It's exciting and a little daunting. But before we get too carried away, we need to address the elephant in the room. The potential risk and ethical considerations.
You're right. We can't ignore those.
We've talked about deepfakes and misinformation.
Right.
But what are some of the other ethical dilemmas we need to be thinking about as AI becomes more prevalent in sound?
Well, one issue is the potential impact on employment. As AI gets more sophisticated, some jobs will be automated.
And that includes the music and entertainment industries.
Exactly.
It's important to acknowledge that while AI can bring advancements, it can also disrupt industries and potentially displace workers.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
we need to have open conversations about these consequences.
To ensure that the benefits of AI are shared fairly.
And that those who are potentially displaced have access to retraining and support.
It's not just about celebrating the technology, it's about making sure it benefits everyone.
I agree.
So what can we do to mitigate these potential risks
One important step is to foster greater transparency in the development of AI systems.
so we can understand how they work and identify potential biases?
Exactly.
And what about regulation?
Governments need to establish clear guidelines and regulations for AI,
Especially in areas like sound manipulation.
which can be used for both good and bad.
It's about striking a balance between innovation and protecting the public.
Precisely. And it's a delicate balance, but one we must strive for.
To harness the full potential of AI while minimizing its downsides.
I agree.
So with all of these challenges and opportunities in mind, what's the most important thing for people to understand about the future of AI in sound?
I think the most important thing is to approach this new era with both excitement and caution. AI has the potential to revolutionize sound.
But we need to use this power responsibly and ethically.
Exactly.
That's a powerful message. We can't blindly embrace every new technology without considering the consequences
We need to be mindful.
and work together to shape a future where AI benefits everyone.
A better future for all.
It's a balancing act for sure. But let's not forget about the incredible potential here. We've talked about all the amazing things Fugatto can do, but I want to come back to one that really blew my mind. That voice manipulation thing.
Ah, yes. Fugatto's vocal capabilities are pretty impressive.
Like a vocal chameleon or something.
Totally.
We touched on it before, but can you give us some more specific examples of how it can transform voices?
Well, besides the singing voice synthesis, Fugatto can actually change the emotion in a voice.
But keep the speaker and content the same.
Yeah, you could take a recording of someone speaking neutrally and make them sound happy, sad, angry, or even fearful.
Without changing the words.
Nope, it's wild.
So it's like an AI voice actor that can convey any emotion on demand.
You could say that. It can also change accents,
Oh, wow. Like what?
converting British to American or the other way around.
Cool. And this isn't just for English, right?
No, Fugatto can handle various languages and accents.
So many possibilities.
Opens up a whole world for dubbing movies and TV shows.
That would save so much time and money in post-production.
Absolutely.
No more hiring separate voice actors for different languages.
Exactly. And it goes even further.
Are there?
Fugatto can manipulate things like speaking rate.
So you could make someone sound like they're talking faster or slower?
Yeah. Or adjust the pitch to make them sound higher or lower.
So you could take any voice and completely transform it.
But still keep it sounding natural and realistic.
The possibilities are pretty much endless.
They are.
But again, it's hard not to think about the potential for misuse here. This is powerful stuff.
You're right. The ability to manipulate audio this well means we have to be extra careful about deep fakes and misinformation.
It's a big responsibility.
Huge.
We need to make sure this tech is used for good.
For the benefit of everyone.
Absolutely. Now, switching gears a bit, I want to talk about another aspect of Fugatto that I found really interesting. The idea of compositionality.
Compositionality.
You mentioned it before, but I think it deserves more attention.
Okay.
Can you remind us what it is and why it's so important for AI sound generation?
Sure. In simple terms, compositionality is the ability to combine different concepts or instructions to create something new.
Like building blocks.
Exactly. You arrange and rearrange them in countless ways to make different structures.
So like how Fugatto can combine a French accent with a sad emotion.
Yes, that's compositionality in action. But Fugatto takes it even further.
How so?
It allows for weighted combination,
Weighted combination.
meaning you can control the intensity of each instruction.
So instead of just a French accent, you could have a slight one or a very strong one.
Exactly. It gives users incredibly fine-grained control over the final sound.
So much control.
And it's not just about combining attributes within a single task. Fugatto can combine different tasks altogether.
Give me an example.
You could ask it to generate electronic music with a dog barking in the background and a voice whispering a poem over it.
Wow. That's crazy. And would it actually do that?
It would. The results are often surprising and delightful.
So it's like giving the AI ingredients and letting it come up with its own recipe.
That's a great way to put it.
It really shows the creative potential here. It's not just about following instructions. It's about letting the AI experiment.
And come up with something new and unexpected.
Exactly. I think that's where the real magic of Fugatto lies.
It's not just about replicating sounds or automating tasks.
It's about creativity.
It's a partner in the creative process.
That can push us beyond our own imagination.
It can.
It's inspiring to think about all the possibilities that Fugatto is opening up for sound designers, musicians, and anyone who works with audio. But before we wrap up, I want to mention one more thing I found really heartening while researching Fugatto.
What's that?
It's that Fugatto was created by a diverse team of researchers from all over the world.
That's a great point. It speaks to the global nature of AI research and development,
I think it's especially important in sound.
which is so connected to culture and language.
Exactly. Having a diverse team means Fugatto can capture the nuances of different sonic traditions from around the world.
It's essential to have diverse perspectives and experiences in AI development.
Especially when it comes to something as culturally sensitive as sound.
Absolutely. It helps to avoid bias and make sure the technology is inclusive and representative of everyone.
Well said. It's a reminder that AI isn't just about algorithms and data,
It's about people.
and the values we build into it.
That's crucial.
So as we come to the end of our deep dive into Fugatto, what's the one key takeaway you want our listeners to remember?
I think the most important thing is that Fugatto and AI in general represents a fundamental change in our relationship with technology. It's not just about tools that help us do things faster anymore.
It's about tools that can create and innovate alongside us.
Pushing the boundaries and opening up new sonic worlds.
Exactly. And that's incredibly exciting.
It is.
But it also comes with responsibility.
We have to use this power wisely and ethically.
As we continue to explore AI and sound, let's do it with a sense of wonder, curiosity, and respect for the art of sound creation.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
And on that note, we'll wrap up this episode of The Deep Dive. If you want to learn more about Fugatto and hear some of the incredible sounds it can create, be sure to check out the NVIDIA blog article and sound gallery we mentioned earlier. And as always, thanks for joining us on this journey of sonic discovery.
It's been a pleasure exploring the world of Fugatto with you. Until next time.